The U.S. job market showed steady growth again in August, but hiring slowed from a torrid pace. Employers added 315,000 new jobs last month. It was the 20th straight month of job growth, and there are now 5.8 million more jobs than there were a year ago. The unemployment rate ticked up to 3.7% as more people tried to get back into the workforce. But even so, many employers say they still need more workers. Economics reporter Paul Salman has our report.
For concrete pros in northern Ohio, the work for their small crew never stops, rain or shine. Getting business? No problem, says Lori Joyce. They're backed up for months.
The work is there.
Good.
We just need the workers.
How many employees could you have at this point if there were people willing to do the jobs?
We could get 5 or 6 more employees. Yes.
More than double the number of people you have now.
Correct.
The job crunch is acute almost everywhere. A restaurant industry survey found fully 2/3 of its members short on workers.
Everybody wants to dine in them, but nobody wants to work in them.
Sava Farah had to cut service at 2 of her 3 Ann Arbor, Michigan establishments.
I was told today that my hosts are making about $38 an hour on average.
And you're having trouble filling those jobs?
Absolutely. Isn't that something?
Now, today's solid job report suggests more people are looking for work, and the unemployment rate ticked up in part as a result, because they haven't yet found any. Economist Anna Elizabeth Kunkel of the job posting site Indeed.com.
Today's report shows that the labor market remains strong. We saw strong payroll gains, and while they weren't as strong as July's blockbuster numbers, it's clear that employer demand for workers is still going strong.
But employers are still struggling to fill those jobs. More than 11 million job openings during the height of summer. So the big question, why can't employers find enough workers? Among the reasons you've presumably heard before,
I don't see a work ethic out there like there used to be.
That's Lori Joyce in Ohio. In Michigan, restaurant owner Farah agrees.
I think hustle is very frowned upon with this younger generation.
And that might be amplified by the wave of recent and ongoing government benefits, says Farah. Even the recent student loan reprieve?
I think it absolutely takes the pressure off of a lot of college students and people who would otherwise be looking for a weekend job.
Of course, there's also still COVID, fewer immigrants, and low pay in high-stress jobs, like the no-benefits $14 an hour Jalen Graham gets to clean planes for American Airlines in Charlotte, North Carolina, having half the time he used to pre-COVID because of understaffing.
At, 14, 15 bucks an hour, you're not really willing to deal with something like this.
So we've heard a bunch of reasons. COVID, lack of work ethic, fewer immigrants who'll take the jobs, low pay, government benefits. Is that the full list?
So in addition to that, there is the reality of some workers retiring. Earlier in the pandemic, we saw workers 55 to 64 stepping out of the labor force.
Again, economist Anna Elizabeth Kunkel.
There also is the additional reason of care challenges. Workers stepping out of the labor force so that they could deal with childcare challenges or elder care challenges.
Exacerbated by COVID, which has stressed the entire workforce, like his fellow cabin cleaners, says Jalen Graham.
We get new hires, and then they'll come in for a week or two, kind of see how things go, realize how stressful it is, and they're already looking for another job.
And as they drop out, that puts more stress on you to clean up with fewer people?
Sir.
So it's like a vicious circle.
It's about as vicious as a hurricane, really.
Vicious as a hurricane on the tarmac, at the table.
The restaurant industry has historically been a challenging place to work, and it's become 10x more challenging.
Ann Arbor's Sava Farah.
When you don't have the right resources, everybody gets burned, everybody gets hurt, people leave crying, people quit on shift. It's really kind of traumatic, to be honest with you, Paul.
So as I'm listening to you, I'm thinking, this is like a labor supply chain crisis. And this was the aha moment for me. After a demand freeze, ships dry docked, planes grounded, restaurants shut, a demand surge. whole industries overwhelmed. And their workers, for the various reasons mentioned, out of the workforce, making the jobs more stressful and thus less attractive than ever to take. For the PBS NewsHour, Paul Salman.